Good morning, everyone. Today is February 6, 2023. We want to welcome all of you to the Uintah County Regular Commission meeting in the County Commission Room Board. I would like to at this time invite everybody to please silence their phones. And today our prayer will be given by Natasha Holt Myers, and the pledge will be by Cheyenne Reed.
Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Natasha and Cheyenne. All right, first item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from the January 30th regular commission meeting and a special work session. I'm looking for a motion.
I've looked at those meetings and am I on? How about now? No. Now you should be. Am I on now? There we go. I've looked at those and I make a motion to approve them.
Have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, review of counter signatures of certified list of claims and report of warrants.
Okay, Commissioners, for the warrants for February 3rd, or February 2nd, sorry, was $424,812.34. I didn't see any that were really out of the ordinary on them. There was a purchase from William P. Peterson for $21,943 equipment purchases for Western Park. And other than that, that's pretty much just normal invoices on that one. We do have several claims this time. These were claims that on invoices purchased in 2022, unable to do a purchase order by the time that we'd receive the invoices in 2023. So the first one is check number 384196 CD Electric for $1,300. There was no purchase order done on that one. There are several on check number 384262 to Northeastern Utah Office Supply. One invoice was $531.92. Another one to Northeastern Office Supply, same check number for $962. This is purchasing supplies and desks and stuff for the Welcome Center in Jensen. The next one is same check number 384262 in the amount of $9,940. This is for desks and chairs for the Information Center. The next one is Wheeler Machinery, check number 384326. Again, there's multiple ones on this same check. First one is $15,343.37. This is work that was done in 2022 on equipment that was no purchase order was issued. Next one is same check number 384326 to Wheeler Machinery. Invoice date was November 16th, $11,097.68. And that is all of them, Commissioners.
All righty, any questions? I'd look for a motion.
Could you please tell me the Northeastern ones again? I'm sorry.
Northeastern one, there was one check number 384262 for $531.92. Next one, Northeastern, same check number for $962. And then the third one to Northeastern for $9,940 for chairs and equipment.
I believe these, though, if I'm correct, Mike, these moving forward, things like this, we will actually send back to get a PO.
Right, where these were prior year, we can't issue a purchase order in
In a prior
2023
year.
for 2022.
Okay, correct, thank you. I would make a motion then that we approve the claims as presented by clerk auditor.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Business licenses.
Oh, thanks.
Good morning, Matt Kazir with Community Development Office. Today will be our last day of presenting business licenses. So tomorrow the ordinance that was passed will take effect and we'll handle them in our office, just for information. We have two home-based business licenses today. Do you want me to present them together?
Yeah, they're the similar.
Okay.
Yeah.
The first one is Zufelt Trucking LLC. Owner is Cody Zufelt. The address is 6058 East Highway 40 here in the Vernal area. Property serial number 667-103. This property is zoned I-1 industrial, but there is a home on the property that they live in the home, and he has a trucking company. So he will have trucks at the home, which is okay in the industrial zone, and trailers as well. And then the home will be used as a home office as well. So we would recommend approval of this business license with the stipulation that he follow all home-based business rules and regulations and all I-1 zoning regulations. The next one is Sunshine and Poppies. Owner Tina Sampson, located at 1984 East, 1500 North in the Vernal area. Property serial number 511965. This business, zone is RA1 residential agricultural. And this is actually, so she does T-shirts and things for people. So she makes the shirts and stamps things on them or prints things on them. We did talk to her about the rules with home-based businesses. She's okay to do that, but all the equipment that she has and needs to be similar to what you might find in a residential area, and then she can only use 25% of the home for the business. If she gets larger than that, then she needs to go find a commercial location in order to do the business. So we did talk to her about that, and that's been explained to her, and she said that she does meet those rules. And then she will have people coming to the home, but it's on an appointment basis, which is what's required under the rules as well. So with that, we would recommend approval as long as she follow all home-based business rules and regulations and all RA1 zoning requirements.
Okay, any discussion or comments? I would look for a motion.
I would make a motion that we approve the business licenses for Zufelt Trucking LLC and Sunshine and Poppies.
Okay.
I'd second that.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed.
All right, thank you.
Library, Sam, annual report.
Brought a whole crew today. Is this on still?
Thank you.
Okay. I'm gonna let the station get set up.
Thank you. They don't want their sign.
Thanks for having us in here today. The state code requires us to do an annual library report. That report covers the progress and activities of the library. It also includes a financial report. The financial report will be to you in a couple weeks once we're sure all the expenses from 2022 have hit the books, and then we'll deliver that to the commission. But today we want to report about the progress and activities in the last year. I just want to introduce my team members here. Start with Christina Higgins, who's our children's librarian, who's a very short timer. We'll get to that in a second. Crystal Summeralls, the library's assistant director, and Stacia Watkins is our events and activities coordinator, and for the last 3 years has borne the brunt of the myriad of COVID changes and emergency communications and been our de facto public information officer and done a fantastic job with that, and did the lion's share of preparing this presentation. And I'm going to turn the time over to Stacia to start us off. If at any time you have questions, please let us know, and we're happy to answer questions, and we'll take 10 to 15 minutes of your time.
All right, thank you so much for having us here today. We're excited to present. So this is basically a 2022 year in review to kind of go over some of the things that we've been able to do in the last year. Going into this presentation, this is a statement we'd like you to keep in mind. This is our mission statement. And it says, the mission of Uintah County Library is to support people in their quests to learn, grow, and discover. We promote individual and community growth by providing opportunities for lifelong learning and enrichment that are centered on first-rate informational sources. So that is the goal that we have striven to carry out throughout the year with all of our activities, all of our collections, all of that. Uintah County Library is an event-driven library. In many ways, we double as a community center, from library programs to civic meetings to piano recitals. We are concerned with our events just as much as we are with our collections. In the last year, we have planned or hosted more than 1,200 programs, events, and presentations. And these events were attended by more than 21,200 patrons throughout the year. So very high volume of people coming in just for events alone. These are a few of our highlights. In February, we had our Dr. Seuss Crazy Hat Tea Party, which saw 322 people. We had our summer reading program going through June and July. We had 8 different programs which were spread throughout the community. We had 1,623 participants, I believe. In August, we had our Comic Expo, which brought out all sorts of activities. We had a Dungeon Masters workshop, teen D&D, adult D&D. We had a superhero and supervillain training camp, special story time. We had a lot of people come to that. We had 442 attendees and 28 entries into a couple of contests that we held. And then to round out the year, we had our Winter Wonderland Christmas activity, which drew about 350 people between the story time and the main event. We gave away more than 600 books, which were supplied by the Vernal Rotary Club. We're very grateful for them and their support. As part of our mission to get as many books into the hands of as many children and other community members as we could. Here's just a brief breakdown of the events by category. You can see here that more than half of our events are centered on our youth ages 0 to 18, and it is designed to broaden their horizons, support literacy, and provide a safe place for them to spend their time. Another 27% of the events that we hosted were actually organized by community members. So we didn't plan these things, but we acted as a venue for people to come and provide classes or other events for the community. I will go ahead and turn the time over to Christina to elaborate a little bit more on how we have supported children in the last year.
I feel like the luckiest person in the entire basin because I get to play with kids every day. And being with children and their caregivers is the sweet spot for me. Obviously, our kids are going to grow up to fill this room, to fill our community, and we want to make sure that we give them every option, that they know what's available to them. So we start that with story times. These are geared toward kids from birth up to age 5. Any child, of course, is welcome. We have plenty of kiddos who are homeschooled that join us as well.
but we focus those mostly on the youngest ones. Early literacy is one of the biggest predictors of lifetime success. And so we want to have books in the hands of children. We want them to hear singing and talking, and we want their caregivers to have a safe place. These winters are hard on us. The pandemic has been hard on everyone. Mental health has suffered greatly, and we want these caregivers to have a place, which is, in this case, the library, that they can come, they can take a deep breath, they know their children are safe, there are enriching activities there for them, and that they can collaborate, build community to help with parenting. Because parenting is, as I'm sure many of you know, it's a lot of work. It's exhausting, and we want them to feel supported as they do that. We also have some fantastic clubs for our school-age kiddos. Lego Club is the most attended. Children, adults, anyone is welcome to come build. We have weekly challenges there. And we also have a Rubik's Cube Club that was started by now a 9-year-old patron who came and presented to the library board and said, I'm passionate about Rubik's Cubes. Can we please have a club? And of course, the answer is yes. Yes, you definitely can. We've also had some excellent opportunities for outreach at elementary schools. We've been going to Tridel once a week. We were able to bring back Tridel Story Time in September. We show up at all sorts of community events to spread the word about the library and just do our very best, once again, to get books into the hands of children. Study after study has shown that just the number of books in a home increases a child's success in life on a variety of things. It didn't even look at which books they are, so we want to, in addition to having books that they can check out, have books that are just sitting on their shelves at any time for them to be able to access. And for summer reading, once again, we took it from end to end of the county, from Jensen over to LaPointe Park, and we had some great partnerships there. Had a great time playing with the kids and letting those know, those who can't make it to the library grounds as often, know that this is their library as well. So there's just a quick map of where we were able to have our activities this last year.
Earlier this year, our teen librarian, Jen Garcia, accepted a new job with the county's Human Resource Office. I like to highlight that every time I can, for a variety of reasons. We're proud of the work that she did, and much in this report, you can talk to Jen about it. Sometimes she loves to talk about the programs and activities that she did. But I just want to highlight that over the past 3 years, one of the main things that the library did with Jen and the teens was a partnership with 4-H and Extension, and they're here today and they'll talk next. But want to just thank them for that, for their work with the Spheres of Influence grant, and that's wrapping up for us here in June. And it helped provide our youth volunteers, our teen volunteers, with some good skills and training and an idea of how to go on and be successful grown-ups. We also partnered with various community agencies on a series we call Adulting 101, things from how to change the oil in your car or lawnmower to how to balance a bank account to applying for a job. And we have a number of clubs that are youth-directed, youth-driven. They're given some coaching from library staff and adult volunteers on how to run some of the clubs, but we've really focused on service learning with the youth volunteers. In fact, one of them is getting an Eagle Scout badge here in a couple of weeks. He built some cool table toppers so the kids can play games on top of the library's tables in the teen room. Prom dress drive, I'll just call myself out partly as an inspiration source. When my oldest teenager, I have 6 daughters and a son, and the prospect of buying dresses for 6 daughters had me thinking I'd be having to work for the county for 60 years and to pay off those bills. But now we stole this program idea from some other libraries, and I just mentioned the words, and our staff ran with it, and we're now in our fourth year, and 4-H has partnered with us on that. The high school, the Honor Society, and the Elks Lodge. Pretty cool. We're collecting again this year. It's expanded from just dresses to any kind of prom gear for young men, young women, etc. And I'm going to turn the time over to Crystal for a second.
So our activities are designed to not only provide family-friendly experience, but also to encourage interest in literacy and a sense of connection in our community. For example, we had a few author events this year. We have Dr. Seuss Day coming up again at the end of February. We had J.R.R. Tolkien Day, which we celebrated all those books, and local authors such as L.J. Stubbs. In the case of the Comic Book Expo, we encourage the patrons to dive into graphic novels, which, incidentally, have on average more rare words per 1,000 than adult books. When we weren't focusing on specific areas of literacy, as Stacia stated previously, we handed out free books for the Halloween walk, for Winter Wonderland, for when children signed up for a new library card, they got a free book. We did other events that focused with other cultural communities. We did the Lotus Lantern with the Korean culture, community culture, sorry. They zoomed in, they taught the class how to create traditional lotus lanterns. That was a big hit. I lost my place, sorry. We had the opportunity to host the film, His Name is Green Flake. It's about one of the first Utah pioneer heroes. We worked with that director, Molly Bonner, and Robert Birch. He's the founder of the Sema Hadithi Foundation, which focuses on African American history in Utah. We brought the event to our community where we zoomed in with the author and was able to work with Utah Humanities to bring Robert Birch and his wife out to have a Q&A after the film. We're also doing the Native Experience with Larry Sespooch. So he comes every second Friday of the month to do story time, teach kids how to do crafts and the heritage of the Ute culture. We worked with the museum to have him there as well. We also received a grant. I didn't skip any of the things. Sorry.
Have accidentally jumped forward.
I think so.
Give me 1 second.
I fat fingered the button.
Sure, yeah. So we also got a grant for Discovery Exoplanets. We worked with NASA and the Space Science Institute, where they brought out, I think we had like 16 different kiosks throughout the library that were interactive with the kids to teach them space facts, and there was a green screen where they got to be a news reporter on different planets and ecosystems and stuff like that. So that was a huge event. We had several kids that didn't ever want to come to the library that were begging their parents to come to the library. So, yeah.
All right, we're going to jump backwards just for a minute to touch on some of our adult activities real quick. So going back to this, adults of all ages need opportunities for enrichment, growth, and discovery. Just like children, just like teens, we need to feel like we have a purpose or we have something to look forward to. So some of those included our senior social hour, quilters at the library. We provided things like recreational activities, including like a ladies' night out, birdhouse paint night, that lotus lantern craft that Crystal mentioned. We also have monthly blood drives, and in the months of February through April, we have VITA, or the volunteer income tax assistance, come through, and they help people with their taxes. So we have resources like that as well. We received a grant last year to conduct a series called Creative Aging Art Classes, and that was done by Jen Garcia, where we were able to use that money to pay an instructor with UBVA to come and teach seniors different types of tactile art. And that was very well attended. One of the biggest things that we've been able to do is the senior social hour. And one of our staff members, again, this was previously started up by Jen Garcia, recently Quinn Curtis, oh my goodness, I can't speak today. He's taken senior social a step further. Back in December, when all the snow was coming down and people were a little bit nervous to drive, we had a lot of our regulars from one of the assisted living facilities decide that they didn't feel safe going out. So the person who usually brings them over called Quinn and said, hey, we're not going to make it. So he decided, well, if they're not going to be able to make it, let's just take the craft to them. So they took the craft out to the assisted living facility, and it was really awesome. They were able to meet people who were kind of bound to the facility, who hadn't been able to come to the library previously. And we look forward to implementing more outreach for our homebound patrons as we expand our services that way. And then I think we'll turn it back over to Sam for our circulation and stats.
We still have books at the library. Okay, hopefully I don't disconnect anything because my eyes have some issues today. So we have 5,458 active patrons. Those are defined as people that have physically been to the library, scanned their library card, checked something out in the last year. Now we have, do you have that? Can I see that one? Thank you. Okay, so we have 10,000 plus registered library card holders. The state of Utah, the library division, requires that we scrub inactive accounts after 3 years of non-use. And so we did that, and the last time we did that, people started coming out of the woodwork saying, hey, I use your apps all the time, and all of a sudden I couldn't use my account. And we looked at our system and said, oh, we thought you were gone. We haven't seen you in years. And there's a bit of a disconnect between the online usage using the apps, and we know how many checkouts are happening, but we haven't been able to determine it as well as many unique card holders and which card holders. And so we're working with our suppliers to make sure we're getting that information back so that doesn't happen again in the future. I saw Heather nodding back there. I think we got her once on that. But so half of our card holders have physically used the library in the last year. Of course, our service population is the county's population. We feel pretty good about this, and we're always trying to grow those numbers. We have physically in our collection books and other things to check out, 104,000 plus items. We checked out, all told, between the physical and the online circulation, 299,000 items approximately. Our Wi-Fi is heavily used. PC reservations, that's in-house physical computers. The library has those are used just over 13,000 times. And Ty will get you all these numbers so you don't have to type this up. Our door count last year, for the months the counter was actually on, was 127,874. And it is also my sad duty, but happy, to announce that today is Christina Higgins' last day as our children's librarian, and she's been absolutely amazing, and we're going to miss her very much and wish her well in her future with the school district. So at least she's not leaving town. But if you all wouldn't mind joining me in a round of applause for Christina. Your picture was on the last slide, so we took it off this one. We'll put it back. Do you have any questions for us?
No? would you mind saying a little bit about your trip?
Sure, I will, yes. Let's see, what is it today? Monday, what is it today? So last weekend, I went to the American Library Association's Winter Conference in New Orleans. The library is part of a Community Webs project from the Internet Archive, and they gave me a scholarship to travel down there to learn more about archiving local historical information from communities and meet with people. And it was a good conference. I was also there while they gave out the Caldecott and Newberry Book Awards. So we'll be getting some of those books in here to the library shortly. But I appreciate the commission's support in letting me go down there and have some time off to do that. And so glad to get back in Vernal. It was 70 degrees down there. Wasn't glad for the temperature, but I don't think New Orleans is my scene. But thank you. But if you're interested in the Community Webs program, I think in town, Evans Family Media was the first one to sign up with us. And what that does is it gives us permission to have the Internet Archive periodically take snapshots of local organizations' websites and archive that content so that in future generations, think of parades and events and fundraisers and local political campaigns, things like that, that in 30, 40 years ago, is anyone going to pay the dues to keep those websites alive? And if we don't capture that kind of history now, like, 30 years ago when the History Center started, collecting history was relatively easy. We could go to an individual and say, hey, we're really interested in the history of you or your organization or group, and they'd give us some boxes. We'd have them sign some papers. Well, in the digital world, if you're a large website, chances are that someone's going to preserve that information. But the Internet Archive got a grant from a couple of private foundations to start archiving community histories and from websites and things. So we have the state and local government websites archived. We're working with the different news media and reaching out to different businesses. And so if anyone's interested in the Community Webs Internet Archive, they can reach out to me at the library and we'll get them going. And
Well, I appreciate you being so proactive. I think you do a lot for our community through the library and offer a lot of services, and I really appreciate that. One thing that goes along with what you just said, though, my mother-in-law brought up that fact that pictures used to be printed, and we had pictures, and so we would keep them in scrapbooks or keep them or whatever. Nowadays, it's digital, so people have them on their phones and so forth, but they don't get passed on. I mean, they're not readily available out there. I mean, there's not books with pictures in them like there used to be that can be looked over for historical purposes. So that's good that you're able to start collecting stuff that's on the web or digital.
We
for
were
history.
really fortunate that in this community we had the Leo Thorne Lawrence DeVed studio, which operated for 3.5 generations, and between their archive and the Vernal Express archive that we were able to acquire in 2005-ish from the Wallace family. If you're pre-2005 and you want something from Vernal, Uintah County, Uintah Basin history, photo-wise, you've got a good shot. We have it. But you raised an excellent point. With the Kids Canal project, which Christina spearheaded for the library, we have the kidscanalstories.org website. People are able to go on there, tell their story, upload some photos. And I think you can look forward to more of those things where we'll have some very clear objectives. We're wanting to save this kind of history. We're wanting to collect these kinds of stories. And we use that as a finding tool so we can then follow up with those people and see whatever other things that they had on their phone or computer that they didn't think were worthy of sending. But if you've got questions about those things, we're happy to help. And we'll have the Regional History Center staff, the museum staff do a similar report here in the future, in the coming weeks. But I want to thank the library board. We've got one of our board members, Susan, has been on our board for the last 7.5 years. And we've had others who have donated their time to help the library plan its mission and vision and goals. And Thank you to each of you for your support. Thank you to our library board, our volunteers and staff, and to 4-H and Extension.
Thank you. Sam, thank you and your employees. What a wonderful job and that you guys do over there for us. Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on. USU Extension Agreement, Amendment Number 2, Cheyenne Reed.
All right, so I'm Cheyenne Reed. I'm with USU Extension, and I have the pleasure of bringing up the cooperative agreement that we have between USU and the county. From my understanding, I've only been on the job for 8 months, so I'm learning. But we entered into a multi-year agreement in 2021 with the county, and today we just need to actually sign Amendment Number 2, updating this year's budget.
Okay, and let's see, there was, we had a question about that, whether it went up and I think it was wages, or was the increase in the budget of, and how much was that for, Cheyenne, again, just for
So
public?
I don't have last year's numbers with me to see how much they went up, but it was the cost of living increase
Great.
that the county gave. And we did add in inflation prices for travel and the fuel and utilities, and to purchase some new laptops for the 4-H coordinators.
All righty, any questions, comments? All right, I'd look for a motion to approve that.
I'd make a motion to approve that, as written, as we have.
All right, we have a motion.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Thank you, Cheyenne. It's wonderful programs you guys are putting together over there. And how you like your job? 8 months, you said? Yeah.
I love my job. It's we're doing good.
Good.
I did bring my 4-H coordinator Natasha to give you guys some updated numbers for 4-H also.
Okay,
And I have Susie Prevedel in the back also to give you some updated numbers with her.
all right.
also.
Well, good.
So, kind of just my updated numbers. Those 8 months have been a whirlwind. But in the first 6 months on my job, so last year I had 343 total contacts of people asking advice on horticulture and their agricultural stuff. And this year, I do have a crop and livestock school that I'm partnering with Duchesne County that will host here in Vernal on February 21st. Right now, we just opened registration. We have 35 people registered, which was more than we thought we would have. So we're doing pretty good with that one. And I will be helping coordinate the water optimization research at the Vernal Research Field that we have here for USU. And we're just getting ready to start our taggings for the stock show, which is the craziest time of year, but I love it. So, okay.
Good, thank you.
Yeah, and I'll turn it over to Natasha.
So I have numbers, but I also have some of, can you guys hear me? Okay. I also have some of the impacts. Cheyenne asked me to keep my speech to 3 minutes, roughly, to talk about our 4-H program and the impacts. I told her that might not be enough. Kind of like 40 hours isn't enough to do everything that we do at the office. But I'll try my best to convey what we do. I'll start out with some statistics. These are specifically for Uintah County. The 2022 State Utah 4-H Impact Report for Uintah County revealed that 78% of youth scored excellent on the 6 C's. The 6 C's are competence, connection, character, caring, confidence, and contribution. Something that Uintah County did a really good in was competence. I didn't bring these for you guys, but if you want a copy of these impact reports from USU for Uintah County, I would be more than willing to share them. We did 89% of youth scored excellent in competence. This is comparing them to other youth across the state. In addition to that report stated, Uintah County averaged 221 youth contacts per month, with some months having over 800 positive youth interactions. This means most months we have the opportunity to positively impact over 220 kids in our community. Currently, we have 277 youth enrolled in Uintah County. big chunk that's missing is a lot of our livestock kids will be signing up as the stock show gets closer. So we also have 47 adult leaders. This is up from last year. These adults focus on giving these kids a positive youth development experience, and they share their hobbies. So just like a little plug, if anyone wants to be a leader, if you want to share your hobby or your passion, we have a place for you. So we obviously want to provide opportunities for every kid to get involved in agriculture in some form or another. We listened to the feedback and got speakers from USU across the state to help kids with starting livestock projects. So currently, we have our Livestock Knowledge Series. It's virtual. You can go sign up for it on Z Suite or ask me for the link. And we're talking about basic knowledge for some of these kids. We heard some feedback from some kids who just didn't know anything and didn't know exactly where to go, and so we wanted to be able to provide them the opportunity to learn about livestock. And we're currently trying to diversify our clubs. In the past year, we formed a rabbit club and a poultry club. These programs cultivate responsibility and love for agriculture and stewardship, even for those who don't have the ability to have the larger animals. So it provides opportunities for our urban youth as well. Additional highlights currently that our 4-H program is Friday 4-H program is thriving. We open up to 20 youth, and if we get enough interest, I'll open a second class. We also have a teen council in which we have 17 youth that fill service opportunities, as well as get leadership experience and opportunities. They have a teen Spheres of Influence grant that covers a lot of their costs to go to state events and things like that. Another program we're starting, we have a grant for, is our 4-H entrepreneurs. We have several different entrepreneur programs and opportunities in the county, and this just provides some information on how to creatively utilize your kind of harness your creativity into a productive business and to effectively sell, following legal guidelines, of course. So we provide some of that information for kids. We go into schools as well. We have an IC grant, which is covering when spheres collide. It's when different spheres of what are the four? When the different spheres collide from the geographical regions. And it's providing agricultural learning opportunities. We also go into our schools and provide blender bike opportunities. And we're doing a STEM activity with edible water bottles here in a couple weeks. So we have over 10 summer day camps and have transported kids to over 5 state events just in the summertime. So over the whole year, we go to over 10 events. So if you have any other questions, let me know. But that's kind of an overview of what we're working on at the 4-H side.
Thank you.
I'm Susie Prevedel. I have some new commissioners that I haven't met yet. I've been working in a dual role with Duchesne and Uintah counties since 2014, and so I spend part of my time here and part there. My main office is in Roosevelt now. I was able to decrease my commute time, so part of my healthy living initiative, so appreciate that. And appreciate Cheyenne taking on the leadership this year for our Uintah County office, so appreciate her as county director. One of the biggest programs that we host, I'm part of the Home and Community Department, which is formerly known by a few different names, but Home Economics back in the day, but most of my work is in the community and family and personal wellness. So some of the initiatives I work on, our diabetes prevention and management. I joke that I'm in the food chain, everything from beginning gardening to the farmer's market to canning and preserving. And also have hosted some physical activity walks, storybook walks with the libraries, and also the famous or infamous blender bikes. So if you've never made a salsa or a smoothie on one of our blender bikes, I'd invite you to. A little bit of fun while we're teaching and learning. Our biggest program that we have in Uintah County right now is our Create Better Health program, which is led by Kara Murray. Kara is not with us today. She got some virus, but hopefully she's recovering. But I'll give you a few statistics from our infographic from this year from our Create Better Health program. Create Better Health is designed to teach food and nutrition and health skills to lower income populations who are part of the SNAP program. If I can get my phone to work. So within, it's hosted by Utah State University, and some of the statistics or the challenges why Create Better Health exists is 1 in 6 Utah County residents experience food insecurity. 3 in 4 Uintah County adult residents are obese or overweight, and 1 in 5 Utah youth are obese and overweight. And so we have a variety of programs that we do to address these challenges. Utah State University and the SNAP Ed program brought roughly $19,500 of support to the county, which supports Kara's wages and her work in Uintah County. Kara has also been pretty active in bringing in smaller community grants to work with from the Farm Bureau and some different places. Some of the highlights that she has this year working are 811 pounds of food donated to the Ashley Valley food program from the Buy Produce for Your Neighbor from the Farmers Market. 2 schools participated in the Create Healthy School program with school gardens, and she has a great online presence, so she's got 489 people following her on her Create Better Health Facebook page. Some of the other numbers in Uintah County are 443 children and 89 adults receive direct education classes, and through our social media platforms, 47,500, which is more than the county has. So, right, people have been on there multiple times, and also her reach is well known across the state representing Uintah County. And also, nothing is done in a vacuum, and so Kara's report shows that she has partnered with 14 different organizations, and I know the library has been one, and the 4-H program, and different places that we're working in the community. Another part of the work that I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years is working on some opioid harm reduction initiatives. Locally, we hosted the Intertribal Opioid Wellness Summit at the beautiful conference center last summer, and we had a great, I saw that Kirk is here, he attended last year, and we invited everybody to come in and do a lot of learning around it, and hopefully we can reduce the overdose deaths and increase the resources available for people who are struggling with opioid addiction. One last thing I want to just mention is we will also be hosting a 1-day opioid summit this year. It'll be in Duchesne County this year, given a nod, trying to keep it equal, doing that, and that will be hosted. But I'm happy to take any comments or questions from people.
Comments, questions? No, other than we just extremely appreciate you.
No, I just love the information. It's
Yeah,
great.
thank
I'm
you.
glad. I was going to ask that to Cheyenne, though, but maybe you'd know. How do you get this information out to the public? Do you utilize just social media? Okay, are any of the classes advertised like via the radio or newspaper or anything?
They do, and I'll let her take that. We have some different social media sites, which is the bulk of it, and then we also really utilize the community calendars and try to get people to our websites where things are local through USU. I will just beat my own drum for just a second. The programming that we do with Kara and Create Better Health, we get our fair share of awards from the state extension office, and then this year as well, I was selected as the County Agent of the Year for the state of Utah, so representing both Duchesne and Uintah counties. We'll be doing that.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's great.
So we do post a lot of our stuff on social media also, and most of my stuff goes out to a listserv that Boyd kept meticulous records, and I am so grateful. He has a whole email list that most of my information goes out on for all of the producers here in the county. So
Oh, that's great.
Thank you. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
thank you for your time and support.
All right, agreement between DPS and the sheriff's office. Here, I'll give this back. I'll just get back to you right now. We gotta figure out how to chase me down.
Does Mike need a copy of that? Does Mike need a copy of that? Yes.
Okay. Sheriff, how we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good. Pretty excited about this program. It's called the 24/7 Sobriety Program. This came into effect through the legislature in 2021 by House Bill 26 and was effective on May 5th of 21. What this program does for a person that gets a DUI, typically they'll have their driver's license suspended and then they're not able to get to work. And then we pick them up driving on a suspended license. They get more fines, they have more issues, and they can't just dig themselves out of that continuous hole. So this bill was passed in 21, and what it does for those folks is they can sign up with, well, the program between DPS and the sheriff's office. And on our program, what we'll do is we'll put an ankle monitor on this individual. It'll cost them $10 a day. $8 of that goes to the state and $2 goes to the county. They provide all the equipment, all the software, the reporting software, and the software that keeps track of them and what their responsibilities are. Throughout the state, I think they said they have 8 or 9 counties that are already utilizing this program, and they have a 97% success rate on the program. It's pretty motivational because they sign a contract if the ankle monitor picks up alcohol at any time, which it's tested twice a day, that they automatically go to jail. So,
The ankle monitor actually does the testing?
yes. Yep, it just picks up the alcohol secretion through the skin and sends a positive test back to the computer, and we know, and then we can call them up and say, you violated your agreement. But according to the state, the 97% success rate, that doesn't happen very often. There is a different way to do it where they would come in twice a day to take a breath test, but that's pretty cumbersome for my staff. I'd rather have them on the bracelet. There is a $30 participant fee up front that the state gets. Part of the program is I'm going to need another line in my budget to keep track of this money because we have to pay the state every month their piece of the pie. But they provide all the equipment and software. So I would just need a motion to be able to execute this MOU through DPS, and then with appropriate signatures, the Commissioner of Public Safety, Jess Anderson, is also on the contract, and Commissioner Horrocks.
Something you need to look over, John, or?
Sheriff has sent it to me and we looked
Okay.
at it. The only follow-up question I have, Steve, is as far as the court's participation, have you had a chance to be able to visit with our judges about this, and
Yeah,
just so they're aware of the program and what their role may be in this?
Yeah, and the county and city attorney, we had a meeting with Brian Spillman. He's the director of this program for the state for DPS. And they're well aware, and they're excited to have some new options within the court.
Just for clarification for the public, DPS is Division of Public Safety?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
That's
using
okay.
acronyms.
Okay, all right, I'd entertain a motion.
Oh, I had a quick question.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
So how much total does it cost a participant each month? I know you said they pay 8 out of the 10, and then
So-
there was other stuff?
So they'll pay $30 up front to get on the program, and that all goes to the state. And then it's $10 a day with the ankle monitor program.
So that's 300 a month, 310 a month? Guess it's
Yeah.
cheaper than what they could be paying by losing a job or having other problems.
Yeah, one driving on suspension's gonna take all that. Just the impound on the vehicle will take that money.
Do you know how long they have to stay on that? I mean, is it a month program? Is it 6 months or
That's decided by the judge.
by the judge? Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's
All right.
typically 6 months to a year is the typical, from what I was told.
Okay.
All right, I'd entertain a motion.
I'd make a motion to approve the agreement between Department of Public Safety and the Uintah County on the 24/7 program and authorize signatures.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. All right, the next one's you too, I guess, jail medical provider agreement.
Yeah, so this is Amendment 4 of this agreement. It goes into effect on the 8th of this month and will run through the 8th of February in 2024. And this agreement's through the Sheriff's Office and Dr. Nolan Brooksby for medical services for the jail. And he's done a great job. Talking to the other sheriffs, there's a few of them in the state that have gone with a medical provider team. With the shortages in nurses right now and medical staff, it's all contract. So they're paying, $80 to $150 an hour for a nurse to come in. We're getting Dr. Brooksby for $6,000 a month. And then we have our nurses on top of that. But he does a great job, and where he already works at a local hospital, he has access to those individuals' records when they go into the hospital, so he knows how to treat all their conditions, current and past, and it's been a great partnership.
Good. Any other questions, comments? Okay, I'd look for a motion.
Any other changes, though? It's just to add another year on his contract?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, so I just need with appropriate signatures on that motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the jail medical provider agreement amendment number 4 as presented.
With appropriate signatures.
Well, if we approve it, it has signatures. That approves signatures.
I'll second.
Seconded. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. Thank you, Sheriff. All right, the SML Strategic LLC contract, John, amendment number 1.
Yes, I'll take that one, Commissioners. So this contract was approved back in November with Charmaine Gohl, and you all have had a chance to meet with her in other meetings as we're working on legislation and other things for the basin. There was a scrivener's error in the contract that needs to be amended. It was for the total compensation. The monthly amount is still the same, $8,360 a month, but the total was computed to 12 months instead of 13 months because it was running from December of 2022 through December of 2023. So it's actually a 13-month contract. So the amendment is changing the term of 1 year. It says 1 year term, and it's actually saying that for a 13-month term. And then the total amount, because of that mathematical error, is going from $100,200 to $108,680. The amount's the same. It's just we didn't times the. It was just an error. So we need it to get approved.
All righty, any questions, comments, motions?
I had a question.
Okay,
This is a 13-month contract then for basically the full year of 2023. Is this just to help us as we're looking at this receiving center, or is this for other services?
There are other services as well. I actually don't have the contract in front of me where I can read those off to you, but we can provide that. I just have the amendment for the amount.
You don't know if this is ongoing? or
No,
would it
it's just for this year.
be- Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
But I was talking about the whole scope of what she's providing to the county is beyond just the receiving center. But I don't have that document at my fingertips right now.
all right, thank you.
okay. Any other questions or comments, motions?
I'd make a motion to approve the SML Strategic LLC contract amendment number 1 with Charmaine Gohl.
Second,
I'll second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion
Sorry,
passed.
did you say what the SML stands for? That was my only other question.
You remember? Can't remember.
Okay.
Another acronym.
All righty, we'll move on to number 9, commission meeting schedule, including work sessions. John, this will be in an ordinance.
Okay, get my mic turned back on. Okay, so commissioners, I had sent this for your individual review last week. The request came from Commissioner Norton to see if we could adjust the meeting schedule. I've had a chance to talk to you each individually, but now it's here for the county commission to discuss. As you know, the commission has set its regularly scheduled commission meeting for this time on Mondays at 11 o'clock. The new proposal, I'll just go through it, so that there would be a work session of the Board of County Commissioners for 2023 held every Monday, excepting legal holidays, beginning at 9 a.m. And then the regular meeting of the Board of County Commissioners for 2023 will be held every Tuesday, excepting legal holidays, beginning at 3 p.m. And then it obviously talks about, should it land on legal holiday, it's postponed to the following day. You reserve the right to be able to cancel any of these regular meetings, and that then will also be providing public notice of this new schedule. The location of those two meetings would be, for the work session, would be the large conference room in the commission's, wing of the building. And then the regular meeting on Tuesday at 3 o'clock would be held in this room.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, look for a motion.
I would make the motion, since I'm the one that asked him to look at this, for ordinance number 26/2023-01, that we approve.
Have a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Only comment I want to make is that, like, in 2 weeks from now, Monday's a holiday. Don't add another meeting on Tuesday. Cancel that one too.
Oh, you're just asking for that?
Yeah, instead if it's a Monday, if it's a holiday on a Monday, then cancel the, instead of
Tuesdays,
just adding.
Since we don't.
Because you've
aren't
now
able to have
just
the work
added
session.
52 more meetings.
Right.
So
Okay,
that if a holiday's on Monday, you cancel the Tuesday meeting too. But we can do that administratively, I think.
Administrative, or if there's a need for.
Yeah, if there's a need, we
quick
can,
thing,
you can still
keep that
have it, but,
meeting, yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
all right. Okay, next one's yours, Mike, election service agreement.
As commissioners, we've sent this to the county attorney for review, and these are the same as we've had in the past. These are standard, just a blanket agreement we'll enter into with the special service districts and with the 3 cities we have to perform their election services for the coming year, for the 2023 year. Just asking for approval as far as what format and that, John. And then as far as the fees, we will work with each one of them based on how many registered voters they have in each of their jurisdictions.
Okay, any questions, comments, motions?
I'd make a motion to approve the election services agreement with the districts and the cities.
Okay, we have a motion?
I'll second.
Second?
Sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. By mail election services, bid award, Mike.
Yes, commissioners, last week you'll remember we opened up some bids, and I have a copy for each one of you.
Thank you, sir.
We received a bid from C Change and K&H Printing. We broke this down to a per ballot cost, and based on the number of registered voters we have as of February 1st of 2023, come down to C Change was $1.52 per ballot, and K&H is $1.17. This does not include the postage. The postage would be the same on either one of them, and the shipping from their location to this main post office in Salt Lake on 21st South and Redwood Road. So with that, commissioners, after reviewing these, K&H Printing is the lowest bid at $1.17 per ballot. And recommendation, and this is for a 2-year period, so this will do the 2023 elections and the 2024, all 3 elections in 2024. Just FYI, we do have a presidential primary in February of 2024, Super Tuesday. We're part of that now, and the state does reimburse us for that one. So there will be that one, the primary in June, and also the November election. Unless they change code, they're talking about having a runoff election in midsummer if someone does not receive more than 50% of the vote. Don't know just where that bill's going yet.
Okay.
So with that, I'd recommend K&H printing at $1.17 a ballot.
Questions, comments, and motions?
Can I ask a question real quick? So, Mike, I know it's the lowest bid. I know across the state, every once in a while, there's some performance issues with the printing of ballots. How does this company check out?
K&H is who we've used the last 2 years, 2 years for sure. Sea Change is who we used prior and was not one so I was kind of glad their bid come in high because I would have been struggling to go with them. The ones that had issues last year was Iron County and Carbon County. They used car printing, and I think they are pretty much out of business now.
Okay, so we're comfortable not only on the price, but also the performance
Correct.
for our
Performance
elections.
has been very good with them. In fact, we share shipping costs with Weber County and Davis County from, they're out of Oregon, right? Oregon or Washington. And we shared bulk shipping from there to the plant in Salt Lake. So yes, they've done an excellent job for us the last 2 years worth of elections.
Okay. I just wanted to ask because there's very few things more important than making sure our elections are run smoothly. So just wanted to ask that.
Yeah. So they've done us an excellent job the last 2 years.
Okay, motion.
I'd make a motion to approve K&H printing.
Second.
Oh, that was it. Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion passed. Cemetery certificates.
Cemetery certificates. Dave, have a few of them today. Leota Cemetery, Aletha Stevens, Block 1, Lot 3, Space 3. Rock Point Cemetery, Phase 2, Felicia Roop, Block 336, Lot A, Spaces 15 and 16. Continuing Rock Point Cemetery, Phase 2, Bowden Family Trust, Block 333, Lot C, Spaces 1 through 6, and Block 333, Lot C, Spaces 9 through 14. Continue now in Vernal Memorial Park, David R. Cook, Lot 261, Spaces 29 and 30. Vernal Memorial Park, Lucci Schmidt, Lot 218, Spaces 2 and 3. Louchie.
Luche?
Sounds good to me.
All right.
That's the last one.
Motion.
I make a motion that we approve the cemetery certificates as presented.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. Tax matters.
Good morning. I have one item today, and I'm requesting an abatement of taxes in the amount of $17,826.15 for tax year 2023 on personal property account 5257 in tax district number 24. And this is equipment, 8 motor graders, 1 backhoe loader, and 1 hydraulic excavator that Uintah County leases from Caterpillar Financial. And since we are exempt, that is why I'm requesting the abatement.
All righty. Any questions, comments, or motions?
I would make a motion that we approve this, I didn't write the exact amount down.
Abatement?
Yeah, this abatement as presented.
Okay, we have a motion.
I'll second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Is that it, Barbara? Thank you. All right, the next on here is our NACO, Local Assistance and Tri-Berry Consistency Fund. We're got this opened up for discussion and possibly support.
I did look up,
Okay.
I pulled this up on the, I think, a US website. I don't know how I found it, but it's through the US Department of the Treasury. And so what this fund is, they explain it as the Local Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund is a general revenue enhancement program that provides additional assistance to eligible revenue-sharing counties and eligible tribal governments. So it said the American Rescue Plan appropriated $2 billion to the Treasury across fiscal years 22 and 23 to provide payments to eligible revenue-sharing counties and eligible tribal governments for use on any governmental purpose except for a lobbying activity. So that's one of the things that they did through this Assistance and Tribal Consistency Fund, is I think it's to try to help counties throughout the country to receive funds from the federal level that they'll pass down through the states to the counties.
Public land funds, and what they'd like to do is create a center in the western United States for the public lands, to be present in the states, and be staffed by NACO members, is how I kind of understand it. Mike, do you understand that? NACO will operate and fund the center. Mike, maybe you can help us a little bit. We just received about $5 million.
$5+ million. We received half of it in December, I believe it was. We have not received the balance of it, but that has already been included in our 2023 budget.
Right, but that was something they said they would be sending, correct?
We've received the first staunch of it, and we're waiting for the second one to come.
Our part would be $29,314.79 is what they'd like us to, the 1% of what they received. And my understanding is if they don't get enough participation, that they would refund our money, is kind of how I understand it.
I just know we received that other money. I haven't heard anything on this other part.
They're a great lobbying tool for us, NACO is. I think we're all in support of, in agreement with that, and it's, but, I'd kind of like to wait a week or two with just some
Questions and things?
questions and do a little more filling out with the other counties. Everything I've heard, everybody's all in. Don't get me wrong, but I just, I would feel more comfortable just to kind of wait a week or two, and maybe what we could do is, so we don't get forgot or brushed under, let's go ahead and put it on the agenda for next week again. Is that all right, Ty?
I don't have a problem with that, because I don't think there's a deadline by when we have to
No,
pay or
no.
anything, but it's also, that's just like you said, the 1%, and this would not be ongoing, this was just a one-time thing, and, I don't know, I'm relating it to like grants. If you get a grant, a lot of times you pay a grant writer a percentage to get that for you. I don't know if that's kind of what this is, so I agree with Commissioner Horrocks that I'd like to check into it a little bit more, get a few more answers before we decide on this.
Okay, we will table that, number 14, John.
That's
till
great.
Basically next week. Okay, public comments. We'll open up for public comments or discussion at this time. Boy, nobody moved very fast, so we will go on to number 16. We do have the needs for a closed session. If I get a motion for that. And John, will we do that in here, or do we want to adjourn to the small conference room?
Probably the small conference room.
Okay, if I could get a motion.
I'd make a motion to adjourn to the small conference room for a closed session. Upon completion, adjourn the public meeting.
Maybe, do we need to say why we're having the closed session? Yes, if you wouldn't mind
I
adding
will
that.
amend that then and say, for the purpose of discussing character, professional competence, or physical or mental health of an individual.
All right, we have a motion.
And then we would come out of closed session, back into open session and adjourn, back into commission session and adjourn. Okay.
Yep.
Sorry, is that okay with you, John?
That's what I thought he said.
Larson?
That's what I said.
Okay. I will second that motion then.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Ty, how are you doing? Fine. Good, good.